Hello, welcome to this episode of Story and Things, a bookish podcast. I'm your host, Cheli.
And I'm your host, Yajaira.
And we are not with each other right now.
Again.
Usually we're right next to each other when we're filming. We're able to see each other's faces. It's a little harder now because we don't know who's going to speak when.
Yeah, so it's kind of difficult to figure out, okay, should I just cut in now? Is it my turn? Because we can't see each other. So
yeah,
this is just another week of us filming separate. If you watched our episode last week, we did House of the Dragon, and we just couldn't meet up for this month. So we're probably going to keep this for the next 2 weeks or so. But I feel like our sound quality is pretty good.
I know, it was really good. It was better than I expected. I will say, though, I didn't have a pop filter last week, but I do this week. And look, wait. Give me a P word. Wait, I got one.
Say pop.
Wait, no, never mind. Are we is the first minute
done? You were going to say ussy, weren't you? Oh, no. My God. Yes, you were.
I was gonna say the ussy word with, extra
I know you so well. As soon as you said P, I was like, I know where this is going. So before we talk about this week's story, Cheli brought up NaNoWriMo, which
NaNoWriMo.
I've heard about before because my friend does it yearly. So I know about it, and I've tried to do it once before, but I'm just so bad at consistently writing every single day when my schedule is the way that it is. And I don't know about you, but I feel like when I know that I have to do something, I enjoy it less. So I feel like it comes out even worse. Like the quality is so bad. So I'm just like, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I want to though.
Did I tell you, though, I kind of wanted to do it?
You did?
So I'm, preparing. I was going to outline it. And then I have, because I'm not a writer, guys. I'm a reader.
Yes, she is. Okay, she's written before, and it was beautiful.
Thank you. But it's, not a hobby of mine. I don't do it consistently anymore. So I was thinking about it, and I was like, honestly, there's going to be really no plot. If I want a story that ends with a love story just like Shrek, that's what I'm gonna add.
Why would
I
it
was
be Shrek?
Every trope, why not? This is
what's so funny? You're literally I hate when people associate Shrek with me. This is why, Cheli. This is literally why.
Okay. Hear me out. So I have a notebook, and on the front page, and I can take a picture of it and send it to you later. On the front page, I wrote every single trope I like. So found family,
fake dating.
I'm not saying I like monster boyfriends, but maybe it's in there.
I definitely in there.
I added tropes that I like, and I was just gonna bullshit write, and whatever comes out is just as long as it has every trope that I like.
Just the tropes?
I wanted it to be a story, but I wanted it to include all the tropes that I like. So that was kind of my plan. And then November 1st came along, and it was 9:30 p.m., the time of slumber. And before I hit my final sleep, I was like, oh shit, I didn't write. So then I was like, if I think about it, maybe it counts.
Oh my God. Because you're outlining.
In my head, because I multitask like that, because I'm that type of bitch. So that was my November 1st. And it's currently, not to put a date on us, it's currently November 2nd. And I also haven't written today. But you know what? We're talking about it now. So
technically this is you also outlining. You know what's funny? I know that
amazing.
You're doing great, sweetie. I know that we've talked about this once, but to our listeners, Cheli and I have kind of talked about maybe writing something together. And I just thought wow, can you imagine if we actually did it for this whole month? Not this month, obviously, maybe next November. Or the November after that. Or the November after that.
Dude, wait. I need us to make a blood oath right now. Actually, no,
God.
because that's not sanitary. So like,
we're not even physically together. What does it matter?
We need to do this. I'll send you my sangre
in a little vial. Oh my God, bilingual queen.
Let's make an oath right now because I see us doing this podcast. I didn't even say it yet.
I already know like, what
okay,
it is.
Dang, I guess you'll give me your firstborn. That was
I've literally promised you that since I was like 17.
Yeah, you've actually promised me your first 7 kids, which is a little awkward.
Which is so weird because I'm only gonna have 5. So where are the other 2?
I hate it. But let's make an oath right now because I see us doing this podcast for a long time. I don't see it ending anytime soon.
No, me neither.
Unless you do. Okay.
No, I don't. Okay. I don't. Like wiping off my sweat. Like, oh yeah, me neither.
Oh yeah, totally. No, yeah. but when next November comes, okay, let's say next August. I think August should be our prep period. We should write something together in November.
I feel like based on both of our schedules, we should do it in the summer, honestly, because I'll be done with school in July, so like close enough. You know what I mean?
And I'll also be done with school in July.
Exactly. So I feel like that is the moment where we would have more time to actually dedicate. You know.
But we don't have that like catchy name, NaNoWriMo. We have July No Rimo.
July No Rimo. Oh, I actually like it.
Okay, I'm down.
June though. Depends on my schedule, I guess.
We can start it when we're both free. I think my freest time is those 3 months. We can write a whole novel, right?
I'm so ready. Are we gonna do it on Google Docs? Like, how are we gonna do this?
We're going to do it with smoke signals.
Oh my God.
One of us will type and then you're like looking at the sky. I think that's the word the.
I don't know what she's trying to write. Is she writing smut already? Like, dang, we're only on chapter 2.
It's the first chapter. It's the first page.
Oh my God. That's how you start a story. A good one.
Oh my gosh. We are going to do so great.
I'm excited. But not to go on forever about our future plans, why don't we go ahead and talk about the story that we're discussing this week, which is Iron Widow. Do you know who it's written by?
Yes. We are talking about Iron Widow by Xiran Jay Zhao. I hope I said the name right.
And just to already say this in the beginning, we are so sorry if we butcher these names. I'm trying, I swear.
Yes, we are both trying, but we are going to be talking about Iron Widow. This is a story that takes place in China, so it's going to have Chinese names. So yeah, we will try our best.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to start this off by me saying a quick, almost spoiler-free summary before we get to the spoilery parts. Okay? So, Iron Widow is a futuristic science fantasy book that is a reimagining of medieval China. But in this story, humanity is constantly being attacked by Hundans. So in order to survive, humans have built these giant fighting machines, which are known as chrysalises, out of these Hundans that have been defeated. So in this world, women have only 2 choices, either get married or become a concubine pilot to aid the men that pilot the chrysalises. But more often than not, the women actually die during this because their chi is drained by the men in battle. So our main character, Zetian, has decided to enlist as a concubine to get revenge for her sister, who was killed shortly after enlisting herself.
Damn. That was like a really good summary.
Really? Did you like it?
Yeah, because it's a very dense book, but there's really only one plot that it's following the whole time, which I appreciated. I really recommend you read this, though, because although that was an amazing summary, it's different reading it. So if you do not want to be spoiled, go read it right now and then come back later. We're still here.
Yeah, I'll be here for you. Don't worry. So we would definitely recommend this if you enjoy science fantasy books, anything that it's like futuristic, because these are like robots. So if you like anything like that, then we would recommend this book for you.
Yep.
So in this part of our episode, we are going to guess how the other person feels about this book, because we don't like to tell each other how we feel about the stories that we read.
Can I guess first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have no idea. I literally,
thank you.
I think that, how do I say this? I think you like where the story was going, but I think there's certain aspects of the story where you don't agree with what's going on.
Okay.
And I think I'm just gonna like middle ground it. Highest you would give it. You might go lower, but the highest you would give it is a 2.5.
Wow, that's really low. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you like it. Like I can't. I'm excited to hear what you're gonna say, but as of now, I don't think you do like it.
That's so funny. Okay. Wow. Now I feel like my guess is
Why
completely
is it funny?
wrong. No, because
I want to laugh.
I want to giggle. No, it's because I don't remember what episode it was, but Cheli and I have. Well, I think it was actually Cheli. I think you mentioned that you feel like we project how we feel when these guesses. Like, if I were to give it a 5, I'd be like, I think you're going to give it a 5. No.
Yeah,
really.
I do remember mentioning that.
And the reason why I feel like that's unexpected is because I feel like overall, I think you like this story. Not unsure. But I'm going to stick with my first gut feeling. I think you overall enjoyed the experience of the story because it's very different. It's very, like... I don't know how to describe it. It's just a lot of plot and a lot is happening, and I think you really liked the main character. So because of that, I think you would give it a 4.3, but I am a little nervous that I'm wrong.
But nothing higher than a 4.3.
And nothing higher and nothing lower, actually. Just a 4.3.
Okay. To mention, because I do want to talk about at least the 3 main characters, but I didn't know this, and I don't know if you know this. Our main character, Wu Zetian. Is it Zetian or Zet?
It's I believe the Z makes like a J sound, so it's Wu Zetian.
Our main character, Wu Zetian. She's based off of a real person?
Yeah.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's an empress of China. I don't know what year, but a long, long time ago. I think she was the only one.
It was the year 683, and she was the only one, and she was so fucking badass.
Yeah.
She did so much shit. Oh my God.
Yeah, I did know that, and I thought that was really cool, but I don't think that the author wanted this to be like a historical fiction book. So even though there are certain names that, are in history, they're not really like based 100% on that person.
I do really like, though, that that's kind of like the aspect of it.
Which it makes sense.
From what I remember reading.
Yeah. Yeah, and it makes sense when you realize what happens in the story, specifically near the end. And you're like, okay, I get it now. Because I didn't know that when I was reading it. Yeah,
me neither. But I do like that that's kind of the connection. Because Empress Wu in actual historical, like, life, like actual real life, she, I think was the last heir. So there was really only one person to give that
title to. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's kind of funny because our main character, is she like just from a farm town?
Yeah, she's not really like from a rich place or anything. I think she's mostly like poor. And she has a couple of siblings, but I can't really remember how many. The only one that I remember is obviously the older sister that died. And she's very critical of her family because they're so uncaring of just like everything that's happening and how women are treated and how it's very patriarchal, right? Like the men are so machistas pretty much. And Wu Zetian is just completely different. She's completely the opposite of everyone.
Dude, and it fucking threw me back to history. I taught this last year, like Chinese history last year.
No way. Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's just kind of a refresher, you know?
You're like, I already knew this.
It's shocking because sometimes I forget some things that happened in history. So seeing like the way women were treated in this book and like, I guess like the parallels with like how it was in real life in China back then, like with the whole foot binding.
Yeah. When they mentioned that, I mean, obviously I had already known that, but when they mentioned that, I was like, wow, that's so like unsettling because it actually happened, right?
And it's crazy too because I've taught foot binding, like I've taught that section of history. I've learned about it in history classes, but I've never read something that explains what it feels like. And that fucked me up.
And it's just really sad to see all of these girls that are pretty much just being abused and it's so normalized.
But I love our main character because she's so strong. Like, even if like she has no support, she's just kind of like, well, I'm going to do this for me because I'm that bitch.
And I don't care if the whole entire world wants to tell me that I can't do it because I'm a woman, I'm going to do it. So like I already said in the summary, her whole goal is just to go avenge her older sister for, you know, being killed as a co-pilot to the guy. What was his name? Yang Guang?
Yes.
So he was this like super popular pilot, right? Because the way that it works is when you kill the Hunduns, you take on their chi, right? So it's like it starts accumulating. Right? Is that correct? Okay, because this was like the second book I read in our batch, so I'm pretty
it's been a while since I've read it too.
But so Yang Guang was a super popular guy because he was just, you know, a really good pilot, and he was responsible for so many deaths of these girls that were his co-pilot. And Wu Zetian's sister was one of them. And so her goal is just to go be his co-pilot and kill him.
I do want to mention that even though it's normal for the women to die because they are concubine pilots, so they're expected to die after like the first few fights, like because they're basically like giving themselves up to make the men more powerful.
Yeah, it's like they take on their chi, which is their life force.
Yes. Wu Zetian, her sister didn't die in battle. She died before her first battle, which was like just them being married.
Yeah. Which is just like crazy. Because that just goes to show that they really did not value these women's lives.
And it sucks too because like the way it was described was the only one who mourned for the sister was Wu Zetian.
Yeah,
and
it's like
the
no
parents
one else
were
cared.
more so. Yeah, because the parents were more so like, oh my God, she never got her first shift, so we're not going to get paid for it.
Yeah.
But I think that our characters' motives in the story, I love them so much. And I like how committed she was to it because there is a character that we're going to talk about later who she likes, but she's more like, I'm not going to get shit out of that. So I'm just gonna not even think about that and focus on my goal.
Yeah. But what I also like about it is that she knows that she has a high chance of dying with this plan, right? Of being the co-pilot. But she does not care. She's just like, this is all I care about. And it's going to happen. If I die, I die. Whatever. Who cares? So I just really like how committed she is to this plan.
So you're a fan? You're a fan of her?
Yeah, overall. I mean, I'll get to things that I didn't really like about her later on, but for now, yeah.
Okay, because I think she's a perfect person who's done no wrong ever.
Oh my god. Oh, really? Not even the waterboarding? Really weird. Okay.
You waterboard someone and all of a sudden you're a bad guy? Wu Zetian, her motive, like her motivation, her goal in this, she is so focused on it. But the only person who can really hold her back, since she has really no family support, there was a childhood friend, and their name was Gao Yiji. Mm-hmm. Gao Yiji. Am I saying it right?
I think so. Yichi?
Yes. So. And he is a rich boy. He's a rich boy.
Oh, he's rich.
But he's not the first son, right?
No. So in his family, he is like, I don't remember, but I think it's like the fourth. So not even the second is all I remember.
Okay. So he's a rich boy, but not really the priority. Mm-hmm. And he has made it like super obvious that he likes her. But she's so convinced that he's just lying.
Yeah, or that he's not really, really down because she doesn't come from money. And she knows that Gao Yiji's father, who is, I can't remember what he is, but he's like, you know, well known. He wouldn't approve of it, of their relationship together. So she's not really allowing herself to be deluded by the possibility that something could happen between them.
Yep. So he is a reoccurring character because even when she is leaving, when Wu Zetian is leaving, he goes to her house and is like, I'll fucking marry her. Like, say a price and I will give you that price. And she's not down for that. She's like, what the fuck are you doing coming to my place?
She's offended by it. She's just like, what? You can't just buy me. Girl.
But you know what, though?
If it were me.
I agree. I agree with her. But oh my God. When he did that, because I low-key thought that he was just also using her. But when he came and did that, I'm like, damn, this boy like loves her.
But using her for what? At this point, like, what was there to use her for?
I just thought it was going to be like a joke. Like, oh yeah, I could probably, like, I thought they were going to have sex and then she was going to be like impure type of thing.
So
I thought that was the whole point.
Then he would just throw her away kind of thing. Yeah. I wasn't 100% sure about his character in the beginning, but I did think that it was cute. The idea was cute, right? Like, oh, there's this rich guy who could potentially get her out of this life, you know, save her from going to do this crazy plan of being this co-pilot to this really popular guy. And I liked the idea of that, but I am glad that she decided to stick with what she really wanted to do, which was her revenge plan, right?
Yes. He does come back later in the story, but overall as a character, I love him.
You love him?
He was my favorite character. I think I can say that.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Favorite. All-time favorite.
He's not my favorite, but okay.
I know who your favorite is. That being said, let's talk about the next character, Li Shimin.
Okay.
He is known as the Iron Demon. So, like we mentioned before, Wu Zetian, her motive is to kill, was his name Yangwang?
Yangwang?
That was her motive. And after the events that happen, after the events that unfold, I think I can say it. She succeeds.
Let's just say it. So pretty much she kills him. Okay, great. Next.
Yeah, she kills him, and it's kind of like, and it's funny because as soon as he died, I was like, am I done with the book? Like,
I know.
The fucking end?
You know what's so weird is that I expected when she went into his mind, because when he's a pilot and she's co-pilot, they're pretty much like bending their minds together, like they're one in this moment, right? So they can see each other's memories and so on. So when this was happening, I understood what was happening, but I thought, oh my God, she's gonna figure out he's so misunderstood and she's gonna have to save him. I thought it was like a romance thing. Like I thought that's where this was going, and I thought, oh my God,
me too.
But then I thought, but I don't know. because of the prologue, right? Because of what happened with her sister.
Yeah.
So,
and it's funny because like reading it, when she goes into his mind, she feels bad because she sees him as a kid, and she goes to this place that has, I think they're peaches, and every time she picks one up, she can see a memory of him and his old concubines.
Yeah.
And at first she's like, oh my God, he cared about them. But then she realizes he's saying the same thing that he said to her.
Yeah. So he's pretty much like professing love, right? Professing cute little things that guys will say to trick girls into thinking, oh my God, he really cares about me. He really likes me. But he would say the same thing to every single one of them. So it was very scripted. And it was very scary. Like, when that happened, I was like, oh, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, and then when it got to the final peach, which was a memory of when he killed her sister, she was like, this bitch is bad. I was right. I'm going to kill this bitch.
I was right all along.
What did she do to the little boy?
Honestly, I can't remember, but she pretty much kills him and in turn kills the real Yang Guang. So when she wakes up, there he is lifeless beside her. And because she killed him, she becomes the Iron Widow.
Yes. And she, when this is over, she's basically like taken away and interrogated. And instead of like killing her
or punishing
her, they're like, oh, we're just going to give you to the Iron Demon, whose name is Li Shimin. And he is known for having such a high key level that it will automatically kill her. Like they're basically sending her to her own death because she will die the first time that they
like bond, pretty much. But then they come to find out that they are actually a balance match, which is something that is very rare, and it's when the male and the female's chi is like in balance so that it won't kill her. So they become like this duo, right? And when two people become a balanced match, it actually it doesn't have to, but it kind of turns into like this like wedding kind of thing. Not a wedding, but like a marriage thing.
Yes.
Which does end up happening between them.
Yeah, and I fucking love her because she gives no shits. Because she's like, what? Who? They're all fucking scared of me. I don't care what I say. Yeah. So the first time she sees him, because he's known for killing his entire family, she just goes up
everyone's scared of him.
Yeah, but she goes up to him and is like, so did you do it? Did you do it? How'd you do it? Why'd you do it? And she's just like asking him hella blunt questions because she doesn't give a fuck. But we learn a lot about this character because Li Shimin, he's a very complex character and is actually a lot kinder than people think.
And he's actually struggling with an alcohol addiction that is actually used to control him by the people who are organizing like all of these events, right? Like all of these battles and so on. And it's the people who pretty much force these two to be together. And that's how they are forcing him to do things. It's through this addiction.
Yeah. And this is Yajaira's favorite character.
I wouldn't say he's my favorite, but I do think he's more complex than the other two.
Wait, if he's not your favorite, did you have a favorite? Was I right? Do you hate this book?
No, I don't hate this book. It's just that I don't know who my favorite is because I really like Wu Zetian for the most part, but I do have issues with her character. And Yiji, I just feel like he's not really that fleshed out because he's just very like one dimensional. Like I feel like his motivation. Oh my god, stop crying. I mean, I'll talk about it more afterwards once we get to like near the end. But yeah, I mean, I guess he is my favorite, but I wouldn't be like, oh my god, I love this character. He's the best character I've ever read.
Yeah, and I know that about you. I think that's why, like I said, I think that's why you like Lee Shimin, because he had a lot of story behind him.
Yeah.
Because the other characters were really just came from a bad home and is a rich boy.
Came from a bad home, is a rich boy, is also a feminist. Don't know why when everyone else isn't. And
because he knows right from wrong. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but if you think about like how this society is.
No, yeah, I get you. It doesn't make sense.
There's no really like pushback, right? There's no one really there who challenges like anyone's views, really. So I just feel like they are the way that they are, which I do like how they are. I just wish that they would have been developed a little bit more.
Okay, then why don't we move on? Because those are our three main characters. And even though this story really revolves Wu Zetian and Li Shimin, our rich boy Yiji, he comes back because he wasn't gonna leave his girl. He wasn't gonna leave his girl hanging.
He couldn't. He pretty much, it becomes like, I don't know what he is for them, but he is like their manager. I don't know what he is. He's just there also.
It's so funny. It's so funny because when he popped up, I was so confused. I literally thought she was having a fever dream. And his fucking idea, because he's like, look, hear me out. I'm going to be there and I'm going to help him not be an alcoholic. You get it? And then they like go talk. They go talk to Shimin and she's like, hey, I know you. I love you. I respect you. Let's stop your alcoholism. And he's like, all right.
And
okay,
he's like,
that seems legit.
Suddenly cured. He's like, oh my God, what even is alcohol?
That seems legit. Come live with us.
I actually really liked Yiji's character in this moment because I felt like, oh my God, he's so empathetic. Like he just really wants to help Shimin out. He's like, doesn't care that, you know, Shimin and Zetian are having like this like romance kind of.
Yeah, because Yiji is like, you know what? I know it's for the cameras. I know it's for that. They never really specifically talk about it actually, but they like Yiji and Zetian. They are kind of a thing.
Yeah, and they do allude to, I understand that if something happens between you two, but I mean, it's okay. Like that. I don't remember exactly what he says, but he pretty much says that he would be like okay with it.
Yeah. And okay, I did want to mention one thing because like after all these three characters are introduced to each other, there is like a comment that Zetian makes, and it's after Yiji is talking to Shimin for the first time, and he's trying to like explain like, oh, you know, I've been following you, like your story, I really look up to you and all these things. And our main character is like, you know what, he might be a little wait, hold on. He might be, but like
he might be a little, I don't know. Yeah. So when that happened, I was like, oh my God, Yiji's bi. I love that.
Dude, that was me too. I was like, oh my God, we really love a bisexual king.
I love the representation, honestly. When that happened, I was like so for it. I loved it. And when that happened, I knew immediately, oh, this is going to be a threesome. Like we've never
that did not cross my mind at all, because when that happened I was like, oh my God, he's gonna have to choose.
Oh my God, Cheli, please.
Dude, I went in blind. I didn't even fucking know this had robots. Like I was when they went in the first mecha, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
What did you think it was?
I don't know. Iron Widow. I don't know. Well, husband died, which technically he did.
Well, I didn't know that it had robots either, but by the prologue, it was kind of obvious that that's where this was going.
Me too. I got it.
No, yeah, I obviously. I mean, I totally.
It's like the last chapter, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
There was robots. No, but I definitely saw it happening already when she mentioned, oh, Yiji might be a little. He might be a little gay. I'm not sure.
Yeah, just a little.
But that's something that I really did love, that once it was like presented, I was like, oh my God, I love that in these stories, there's always a love triangle, always. And I feel like they're very hit or miss with me. Like sometimes I feel like it's obvious who it's supposed to be with. So why is there a love triangle? And other times I'm just like, okay, love the drama. I'm here for it. So I was really happy that she doesn't have to choose. They're pretty much a threesome. They all love each other.
I love that the love triangle too existed amongst all the characters. Like they all just loved each other.
Right? It's not even...
Dude, and the freaking point that she brings up, because I think it's around this time where she has a conversation with someone, and she talks about how the strongest shape is a triangle. Like everything good comes in threes.
Oh my God, really? Please.
Dude, but like when she said that, I had no fucking idea. So I was like, what the fuck? I actually think the strongest one is a square, but
I actually would say it's a hexagon, but that's just me.
I don't know. I'm kind of an octagon stan, but
yeah, that part kind of threw me off too, because I wasn't entirely sure like how true that is, you know? I don't really know, but I had no thoughts for that.
Well, our characters, they all work together, and honestly, they fucking overthrow society. That's what they do, right?
Remember, even though this is a futuristic reimagining, it's still like medieval kind of vibes, right? So the men are meant to survive with all of these like piloting like battles and all that. And the women will happily give away their lives either in battle or in marriage, one or the other. And what we find out also is that these systems are rigged. Like the women aren't supposed to die during this, but they're rigged so that the men will survive, because if the men didn't survive this, then they're more likely not going to want to put their lives on the line, right? So they wouldn't want to join this war.
Which is so, like, it gets thrown in the face of, like, the ones in charge of this whole mecha thing. Because multiple times when Young One, is that his name? I keep forgetting. When he died, people were basically coming at Wu Zetian and were like, you made someone lose their son today.
Oh, my God.
You made someone's son die. And then she was like, what about the fucking girls?
What about the girls that have died literally every single day? Like, no one cares about them.
Shout out, though. Okay, we didn't mention this. After she successfully killed that bitch, she came out with his body. And I think one of the things that she said when she was in the mecha was, don't kill any more girls. And then she came out and fucking, I think she dropped him and just laughed.
Yeah, she laughed maniacally and remember, like, this is very like televised. So think like Hunger Games, Pacific Rim, like it's all televised. So some people were able to capture this moment or to see this, to witness this, but it was immediately taken down. But obviously some people saw it. So she started pretty much like this whole thing, this whole like shift in this world. So when they started going after the people in charge or responsible for these like strategies, like the strategists, like they started going after them. They pretty much, what did they do to that one guy again? Oh yeah, the waterboarding. What was his name? Do you remember?
I don't remember. Wait, hold on. I have all the names down. Give me a sec.
Maybe it doesn't matter.
But like I said, you waterboard one person and all of a sudden you're a bad guy?
Maybe it doesn't matter. So pretty much Zetian and Ximin, they go after this strategist and they start threatening him. Like they start torturing him. They start telling him like, oh, we killed your son. So tell us what's like, why, like, what is it? Like, why is it that women are dying? Right. And so that's when it's revealed that, you know, everything is rigged. And they pretty much kill this man. Thoughts?
Leading up to this point, I will be very honest with you. Like, this is my honesty hour.
Okay.
I was so confused with what they were doing.
Oh.
I don't know, because I felt like because they were in a place where these mechas are used to fight. Oh, by the way, they fight these things called the chrysalis.
No, they
because
fight the hunters. The chrysalises
you're right.
Are what they're in.
Thank you. But because they use these mechas to fight, I thought they'd be under more surveillance. Like they got away with so much shit that's one of the big things of why I don't think you like it. Because it felt like everything went their way. And all of a sudden they were like the perfect trio. Like, let's do this. Let's do that. Oh my God, we're changing the world. And it's like
changing the world one strategist at a time.
Honestly, I would have kind of liked it if she hadn't succeeded. Because I wanted, because I would have liked like a second book. I wanted it to be hard for her.
There is a second book.
What?
There's a second book.
Hello? What's it called?
It's not out yet, but there is a second book if you go on her Goodreads.
Oh my God. I fucking love that. But
how did you not know with the ending? Well,
okay. I heard this audiobook when I was driving home. So I was a little dead. But
okay. Mm-hmm.
I know that it ended in a cliffhanger. I just didn't know it was like said that there was going to be a second one. But okay. I still would have liked it if she hadn't succeeded the way that she did with that, like getting all that information out of one guy. I wish that guy would have like died with that knowledge and been like, I'm never gonna fucking help you.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I didn't love that, but it wasn't a huge issue only because I kind of liked that this story moved like not quickly, but in a pace that where I felt like, oh my God, something is always happening, right? Like I didn't have time to get bored. Like something was just always constantly happening. So I did like that. That's true. But I do wish that tension was built a little bit more, even in, you know, like in the battle scenes or in this moment with the strategist or even with like the building of the characters, like their backstories. Like I really wish that the sister wasn't already dead. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wish we would have seen Wu Zetian maybe not be completely, you know, woke or feminist and from the beginning and kind of experience like, oh, all of these women are dying and maybe it doesn't hit her until she loses her sister, you know? Like, I wish that would have happened. So
that would have been really good.
Yeah. So I already forgot what we were talking about, but yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Oh no, with the pacing going too quick. Like seeming like it was just they were walking down a linear path.
Oh yeah. So it was quick enough where it kept my interest. Yeah, no, it kept my interest, so I was fine with it.
I mean, it kept my interest too. And the chapters were like they always ended in a way where it's like, okay, gotta read the next chapter. Like you had to keep going. I understand that. It just I got so confused with what their plan was. Like everything just worked for them, and I'm like, okay. Okay, freaking Yiji is just here living with us now in our bachelor pad. I guess bachelor pad. They just lived in an apartment together.
Yeah, and I mean, even with this like moment of with this killing of the strategist, I do kind of wish that they would have felt more of the weight of his, you know, murder, because with Shimin's character, he felt so guilty because he was responsible for all of these deaths, right? All of these women's deaths, which he didn't want to drain their power, but it just happened with every battle. So I kind of wish that he would have had a moment of, oh, you know, I didn't mean to kill these women, but I did mean to kill this man, and you know, just kind of have this realization of like what is the difference, right? Like, how are you feeling right now? And even like, with
moral ambiguity.
Yeah, or
is
even
that the word?
Yeah, exactly. Or even with Wu Zetian, like she didn't mean to kill Yang Guang, right? Like it happened. She wasn't sorry about it, but she didn't mean to do it. So I wish she would have realized, like, oh, I actually did commit this murder here, and I meant to do it, and so kind of like process that.
Yeah, I do wish that it would have hit her differently. Mm-hmm. And I understand that she is a very vengeful person. She doesn't give a fuck about anyone, and she just hates men so much. But like,
specifically men like that, right? like the strategist.
But even like getting to know Ximin, she didn't trust him at first at all because she's like, there's no way there's a man out there that understands like women's pain.
Yeah,
that felt like it went away so quick.
Yeah, they kind of did go through that very quickly, huh?
Mm-hmm. And that should have been developed because it happened so fast. They hated each other, but then it was like, you know what?
Wait,
I don't hate you.
Hold on. What are we?
What if we kiss?
What if we don't fake date anymore?
What if we real date? And then you know, it's like freaking Ximin is like, well, what about Yiji? Isn't he your boy? And then they just all three hold hands.
And they all make out at the same time.
Dude, can I say though, that part where I think it's Yiji saying something and he talks about Ximin and Ximin's just like, oh, I think he has like his hand on him and Ximin is just like, oh, you don't have to apologize for that, handsome.
Yeah.
When he did that,
I
literally had to pause and I was like, wait, what's happening? Isn't she standing right there?
I know. And didn't they like all look at each other like, is this okay? Is this okay?
Well, it's
okay.
it's because like Ximin called Yiji handsome and then they kissed. And it's funny because Zetian is standing right there, but instead of like freaking out, she's like, yeah, oh hell yeah, oh my god. And it's Yiji that looks at Zetian like in a way that's like, oh my god, like what am I doing? I'm so sorry. But then they all nod. They're all like, that's that good shit. That's that good shit.
And I can't remember who, but one of them makes it might be actually our main character. Doesn't she make a comment of, well, they're already very different from society anyway, so this isn't like that big of a deal, right?
Yeah, because Ximin is the one who says, well, I'm adding more reason for people to hate me. Like there's another reason. And then it's when Zetian says that.
Yeah.
But my God, these bitches love each other.
I love a good romance.
Dude, I was so happy.
With what? Oh, when they all made out with
their triangle of where they all three of their lips collided into a triangle. I was so fucking down, dude. I was so happy that she didn't have to choose. And can I tell you something? I've read polyamorous stories before.
Oh, have you?
I think, I've read a few. I think this is like one of the most well done polyamory relationships that I've seen because it's like so naturally done.
Yeah, and that's something that I really appreciated too. Like I liked that it wasn't that big of a deal, or it wasn't that difficult for them to navigate, right? Like it just kind of happened and it was okay, and they all just were like, okay, cool, we all love each other.
I wonder how someone who does like practice polyamory would feel about this though. Because I know it's a really big thing. Like communication is a really big thing. But like our main character, she doesn't always communicate everything. She kind of does her own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I probably if it had a more emphasis on the polyamory, I could see people complaining about the lack of communication. But I mean, I feel like it's fine. And it wasn't that bad.
You know, not to be that person, but it's not like it lasted that long.
Oh my God, right? It came and then it went. I literally blinked and my boy was dead. I was like, what just happened?
Okay, can you do a rundown? Because like I said, I listened to this in the car. Please explain to me what happened to Ximin.
So basically, I'm just going to give a very quick gloss over because I do want all of those listeners to just go read this. So pretty much after that strategist, they just start, you know what? We're taking over. And so they're doing this like battle scene with the Hundans, of course. But then there's also other chrysalises that they're like, there's like a betrayal that happens in this moment. And remember, the way that it works is they rely heavily on chi. So if another chrysalis has a higher chi, then they're more likely to win, right? So Yiji, Zetian, and Ximin are all in one chrysalis, and they're being attacked by the white tiger, I believe. I can't remember who. I think it's, or was it the tortoise? I can't remember. But somebody is attacking.
It was the white tiger.
I think you're right. So they're being attacked, and Ximin realizes, oh, we're not gonna win. Like, this is it for us, boys. Hang up the capes. And so he pretty much ejects Zetian and Yiji out of the chrysalises so that he stays inside and pretty much dies in this battle while the other two survive. So they survived and Ximin dies.
And it's so sad.
It is really sad because it happened so fast. So that when it happened, I was like, what the hell just happened? They literally just had their makeout scene. No, they just had their smut scene like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Like a page ago.
He just died. And the book ends around that part, right? Because I don't remember what happens at the very end.
So after this moment, if I remember correctly, Zetian is trying to pretty much revive Ximin. And so she's seeking out this like emperor. It's like this whole legend, right? This emperor who is like frozen in place.
Yes.
And he's supposed to be the strongest of them all, right? And so she awakens him. I believe his name is Emperor Qinzhen. So she awakens him, and I don't know how long he's been here. He's been in this space, right? But his chrysalis is a yellow dragon. And so she's trying to defeat the Hunduns with this emperor. But because she is now who she is, she's like, you're going to get in the co-pilot because I'm the pilot, baby. And he's like, obviously, way more old school than the men in, you know, their current time that she's in. So he's just like, what? Me? Co-pilot? Never. But she's like, she convinces him very quickly, and they get in, whatever. And in this moment, like, they're fighting Hunduns, I believe. I don't exactly remember what's happening, but she establishes herself as an empress in this moment. And because this is all being televised, and Yiji is with her, and she's trying to pretty much become like a dictator. She's like trying to force everyone who's watching them to kind of like, you know, as my good girl Dany from Game of Thrones would say, bend the knee. And so,
oh my God.
So she is trying to revive Ximin. And we didn't mention this, but there is like this council, like this heavenly council that's never really shown in the book, but you know they're there. Like you can kind of like see them like in the sky and so on. And they are like the ones who are, they're like the secret government, pretty much.
Yeah.
We find out, I can't remember who reveals it, but someone tells Zetian that the Hunduns are actually not the alien species we were made out to believe this entire time. They're actually the native species. They're not actually in their human world. They're in the other world, like in the Hunduns world. But they didn't know that. Or at least Zetian didn't know that.
So they're the ones invading.
Yeah, so they're the ones invading the Hunduns, and the Hunduns this whole time have just been defending themselves, even though they've taken it as, oh my God, they've been attacking humanity this whole time. And so Zetian wants to reveal this news to everyone, right? And this is when the Heavenly Council intervenes, and they pretty much tell her that if you pretty much submit yourself and, you know, work for us or become one of us or whatever, they will pretty much bring Ximin back to life. And that's how the story ends.
Dude. Oh my God. Okay, first of all, thank you. Because I totally, the ending, I feel like I glossed over and I really didn't mean to. But oh my fucking God.
You didn't remember it? Like at all?
I remembered that they wanted to bring them back to life. And I did remember that they were the invaders, but that was pretty much it. I totally forgot about the Heavenly Council thing. Yeah. But that makes sense. I just looked it up. The second book is called Heavenly Tyrant.
See, that's my girl, a tyrant.
Dude.
But when that moment happened, like the reveal of them actually being the invaders and the Hunduns being the native species in that place, my mind was blown. I was like, what? This whole time they've been killing these poor creatures for nothing? That's so sad. But
Which is crazy to think about because, like, the whole idea of them killing these creatures, I thought that was just like a side thing. Like, I never thought they would really discuss it more. I really thought it was just going to focus on women in power and helping women. So the fact that that was also a plot point, it's like...
like a major
there's so
plot
much. Point.
Yeah. I was definitely surprised. It definitely made me want to read the second one only because I just have so many questions now. Like, how did no one know that they weren't home? Like, this is home then. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just confused.
It's like, wait a minute. Where the fuck am I?
No, seriously. Like,
Grandma's house?
I'm just so confused. Is this like a parallel universe? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't really get it how they didn't notice either. Like, one of them stares in the sky for too long. It's like, wait, isn't that fucking Earth? What the fuck?
What am I doing here? Yeah.
And the fact that, like, all these people were most likely moved, like, there has to be someone who would have known that, you know, like someone else. So the fact that no one knows.
Unless they've just been there for a long, long time, that they've been able to just kind of make it their own home.
Yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, I just have so many questions.
Oh my God.
So many questions. I need to understand. But yeah, so when the part with Shimin happened, like the death, I was so sad. I was like, then what was the point of this wonderful love story between all three of them if they were all just gonna die? Oh, not all of them, but you know what I mean. Like, the love was gonna die.
Yeah, it threw me off completely. I was devastated.
Same.
Because now it's kind of like, oh, I guess I'm with you again.
Not
Should
not
we find
Yiji
another
again.
triangle?
I mean, Yiji was oh my God. Already they're like, I actually already have someone signed up, so we don't have to look very far. I was gonna say, I guess maybe he is my favorite because I was really sad when he died, and I feel like you were probably like, well, at least Yiji's alive. We didn't even talk about the fact that Yiji kills his dad. Bro, and Yiji's dad was freaking blackmailing our girl.
Yeah.
Anyway, read the book. But yeah.
Wait, can you remind me? Zetian? Does she kill her family?
Yeah, she kills her family.
She stepped on them, right?
Yeah, she kills them. She killed them, and then she killed like a bunch of other innocent people as well. Damn,
dude. And I know how you feel about women in war crimes. You're down for that.
Oh my God, just because I love Daenerys doesn't mean anything, okay? You wouldn't know.
You know, I can forgive the war crimes, but waterboarding?
That's where I draw the line.
Oh my gosh, please don't take that line out of context. In the book. Okay.
Oh my God.
Dude, can you imagine being that person who woke up at 5 a.m. You're about to go to your shift at the Walmart. You're eating like a cold Pop-Tart and you see a fucking girl just come out of a mecha laughing with a dead body and you're like, what the fuck?
Girl,
I'm just trying to live. I'm just trying to eat my Pop-Tart, man.
I would be so scared. Also,
dude, that whole there were so many parts in this story where she acted so inhumanely that it freaked me out. Like, I was like, what the fuck is up with this girl? Like, let's go, bitch. But at the same time, please chill.
I'm also kind of scared. It's that one meme where it's like, I'm scared, but also turned on.
I hate it.
So I just want to bring up that going back to her character and her character development and all that. So her family was just overall pretty much disappointing, right?
Yeah.
So when I can't remember who it was that was trying to use them against her. Was it the strategist? So
yes.
I think it was the strategists that were trying to control Zetian, and the way they wanted to do it was by telling her, oh, we're going to kill your family unless you just behave, work for us, and stop trying to start this revolution. And
it's so funny because it's like, bitch, I don't even care about them.
No, seriously. No, but she did kind of hesitate for a second, right? Because she did. Was looking at them and she was like, I do remember that one time you made me apple pie and that was really nice of you, I guess.
That was really nice, but you also did bind my fucking foot.
And now
so,
it's all
pros, cons. Sorry, Grandma.
So, but she has this moment of, well, if you die, then they can't use you to get to me anymore. So I'm really doing you a favor here. So you're welcome.
I love our queen. I love her. Sorry, Empress Wu. I really wish that she had more less vengefulness and more moments of reflection. Because I want her to understand
what she's doing.
What's the word? Equitability, I guess. I want her to know hey, not everyone sucks. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes it's really a cultural thing. But, it's not going to go that far because that's not how people thought back then.
Yeah.
But I really wish she would have been that instead of just oh, no, I killed him just because I kind of hate that bitch.
Yeah.
Really ruining my triangle vibe.
Yeah, exactly. When everyone knows triangles are the best shape. I don't know. I have this I'm just unsure because we've talked about this before. Sometimes we go into these discussions not knowing 100% how we feel about the story, right? Can't remember mm-hmm. which episode it was that we said that, but this is one of them. Not the story itself, but the characters, because I go back and forth between loving how she is. I like that she's so unapologetically aggressive, right? I like that about her because a lot of the times if it was a male lead, I don't think anyone would bat an eye. They would be like, okay, he's just a vengeful guy. Okay, cool. He's so quirky. Love that. But because it's a girl, obviously we want to see a more softer side of her. And I don't know, I kind of like how she is, but I do wish that she was developed a little bit more where I could see or I could understand why she is the way that she is. I don't mind how she is. I just wish that we could have seen the moment of, well, this is how the world is. The world wants to kill these girls and have no remorse over it. And mm-hmm. I wanted her to feel a more emotional connection because she didn't really feel an emotional connection. I do believe that she cared, but I didn't feel that emotional connection to them besides her sister. But even then, I just feel like that sister moment wasn't that strong, if that makes sense.
That's true. No, I get you.
Yeah, but I just go back and forth between go queen to wait, think about it, girl. Think about it.
Yeah, because I do like that she had her one motivation, but that was pretty much it. Mm-hmm. I feel if given the opportunity, if she had to choose, well, I don't know, it's kind of hard. If she had to choose between her two boys and getting what she wants, I don't know what she would choose.
I feel at the end, probably not anymore, but I feel for a long time, she probably would have stuck to what she wants.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe at the end, it would have been different. Mm-hmm. But, God.
But with Yiji's character, it's so weird because I did really care about him. I don't want anyone to think that I didn't, because I was actually really worried that he was the one that was gonna die. I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, the childhood rich boy, no way, it can't be him.
That would have hurt me more, honestly, and it would have felt a little predictable.
Yeah, it would have. I agree with you. It would have felt more predictable. But I wish that the same thing with Zetian. I wish that he would have also had a moment of, well, this isn't fair because of this or whatever. I don't know. Like, I just wish there was a little bit more, but overall I did really like his character too.
Okay. Do you want to talk about your overall thoughts? Or was there anything else you wanted to bring up?
Well, I feel like I've said a couple of dislikes. Is there anything that you disliked about the story that we haven't mentioned yet?
I disliked her war crimes. I know that I said I loved her. I do love her. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love her. She's that bad bitch. But I just, when there's characters that do things that like teeter on like good and bad, I guess, good versus evil, I wish that she would have had that moment of reflection. I really wish that like if she had done something, people around her would have reacted to it. Because it seems like anything she did, they were just kind of like, oh, that's chill.
Like,
oh yeah, no, you're
they were so
you
unbothered.
Killed that bitch. I know. And I really wish there would have been more of a reaction to things that she had done, because things happened so quick and there was really no reaction. And it should have had a reaction because it's in the time where women wouldn't do those types of things. Yeah. So that was a really big thing that bothered me. But then again, I kept telling myself like, okay, this is this is fiction. It's not really based on history. It's not going to be completely accurate. Right. But it would have been nice to have seen them actually react to what was going on.
Yeah, and I kind of wish they weren't like completely yes men. I wish they would have actually challenged her a little bit. Not necessarily like with the feminism, right? But just like the war crimes maybe. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I just wish that maybe...
it would have... Oh, go ahead.
I just wish that there would have been a little bit more of tension. I already said this before, but just even tension between like the characters. Not in a bad way, but just like, oh, should we really kill this man? Like, should we really? Let's think about this.
Yeah, just that would have been nice to see, like them interact in a way where they're like challenging each other's ideas.
Yeah, because I honestly don't feel like there was that many different perspectives between the main characters.
And like you said, like it's weird for there to be two male characters who are just feminists until they die. Because it would have also been nice to see like, oh yeah, he understands the world this way, but he's still a nice guy. He sees that there's wrong in the way like society is structured, but he doesn't know why. Like that would have been an interesting take on it.
Exactly. Like I would have really liked to see that. Like even with Shimin's character, like him feeling sorry for all of the women that he's accidentally killed, but maybe him being brainwashed into thinking like, oh no, this is how the women have to be, right? Or this is what the women want, or whatever the case may be. But with getting close to Zetian, like maybe him realizing like, oh my God, no, like this isn't right. That, you know, so many women have had to die for pretty much nothing.
I wish there would have been more of that. But overall thoughts.
I want you to go first.
Me?
Yeah.
I've said what I disliked, and I still agree with like it could have been a lot more. But overall, I fucking love this story. I think this story was so well written. I'm sad with how quickly the polyamory ended.
I know, it came and it went
so fast. But you know, there's still possibilities in the second book. But even then, I don't like the idea of Shimin being brought back. Like that, I don't like that.
Why not?
There's
it's
something
literally
about characters.
Fantasy. It's fantasy.
There's something about characters coming back. Like I haven't, connecting it to another book, I haven't read Harrow, but I have read Gideon, and I feel like Gideon's going to come back, and I
don't
hate
think
that.
she is.
I feel like she is. Like, why did her body go missing? Spoilers.
Wait, did somebody tell you she comes back?
No. I haven't heard anything. I literally don't know what the book is about. But if she were to come back, I don't want it. Like, if she's dead, then she's dead. And that's how I feel about him. And it makes me sad, but I don't like it when characters are brought back, because do you really expect me to, like, he's gonna get up and just be like, oh my God, that fucking nap was so good. Like, I saw God and came back. Like, there's no way.
I just came back all of a sudden. Well, what if they just like blacked out? Like, oh my God, that was a long sleep.
I just feel like after experiencing death, you're not going to come back the same. And I haven't read a piece of writing where someone being brought back is done in a way that I like. I think the closest that I've watched where that's a situation that someone goes through is that one episode of Black Mirror where the person can feel the feelings of others and he experiences what dying feels like. Do you remember that episode?
I don't think I do. Keep
going. It's like these sunglasses. It's like these sunglasses, and at first he puts them on so that he can feel like what a woman's orgasm feels like. But then he accidentally kills someone and he feels what death is, and he's like, "Oh my God, I love that feeling."
Oh, so the doctor one.
Yes, that one.
Isn't he a doctor? And then at the end, he like starts hurting himself because like it just feels better, right? Is it that one?
That I think that the idea of that was more interesting to me.
But it doesn't.
I don't want to see Xiran come back. No, but he experiences death. Because I feel like if Xiran comes back, it's just going to be him opening his beautiful, beautiful eyes and being like, "I'm back, bitch. I'm back from my slumber." How long was I out?
What was it?
What was it, like 15 minutes?
Okay, as someone who has watched Dean Winchester die at least like 200 times in one episode, I do want Xiran to come back. He's fine.
I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see when the second book comes out. Overall, I think I would give this story like a solid 4 out of 5.
4.3.
Maybe. Wait, hold on.
4.3.
Maybe even a 4.3.
Oh my God!
But that was kind of my goal at the.
Thank you so much.
I feel like I would have, because like we've talked about this personally, not on the podcast. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when we're talking to each other, our ratings change because one of us will bring up something and be like, "Oh, good point." You know?
Yeah.
At the beginning, I was set on like a 4.5. So around there.
You know what's funny? That's what I was going to say in the beginning. That's what I was going to guess for your rating, a 4.5. But then you guessed mine, and I was like, maybe she doesn't love it as much as I thought. Okay, let me lower it 0.2.
Well, what about you?
Okay, so I really enjoyed this story too. I thought it was so interesting. I did not get bored at all. I really loved our characters. See, the thing is I feel like reading is, it really depends on your perspective, right? And I feel like we've talked about this before, where if you just go in and you're just like, I'm just here for the vibes. I'm not here for anything more than just vibes. That's kind of how I was when I read it. So I took it for what it was, right? Like I just accepted everything, had no critiques the first time. And then when you sit with it and we think about it and all that, whatever, it's not that we planned for the podcast, but I was trying to remember before we started filming like what happened in the story, right? And that's when I started to like kind of think about the characters. And again, I do wish there was more development, but honestly, like it wasn't that big of a deal. I am excited to see how the second book plays out. Maybe there'll be more development there. And I don't know if you know this, but this is actually Xiran Jay Zhao's debut novel. Did you know that?
Oh, I did know that.
And I feel like it's a really good debut novel, honestly. Like I really think they did an amazing job. So I feel like I would rate this story, I think I'd also give it a 4.
Oh, dude, I was wrong.
Yeah, you were. Well, even when we started, like I would not have given it that low of a rating. Like that was low.
I don't know. I literally couldn't tell because of like all the little things that I mentioned. The whole like things happening too quickly, things seeming to go their way. I thought that was going to bug you.
No, it didn't. I mean, my only issue was just the character development. That was pretty much it. I mean, everything else, like even like her war crimes, I was like, okay, girl.
We all commit war crimes.
We all make mistakes.
In the book. Don't take it out of context.
In the book. Yes. In the book. Only in the book.
But I think that's it.
That's it. I really enjoyed reading this and I really enjoyed talking about this with you. So I really do hope that whoever is listening will pick up this book.
Yeah, because there's so much we didn't mention. Go read this book and talk to us about it. Because, well, first of all, thank you so much for listening to this podcast, whether you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on. It really does mean a lot. And I want to freaking press this a lot. It really helps when you give us ratings and reviews.
Yeah, it makes such a huge difference because I feel like we are shown up more in people's feeds, right? Like we are, what's the word? We're recommended more if people rate our podcast. So thank you to everyone who has rated us 5 stars. And if you're listening and you haven't yet, it would really mean the world to both of us if you would rate our podcast 5 stars and leave a comment.
Yeah. Yes, please do that. It really does make a difference. I do want to know what you guys think about this book. So if you want to leave that in the reviews of our podcast, that would be amazing. If you are watching us on YouTube, if you can like, comment, and subscribe. How'd you feel about that triangle? Let me know. I'm excited. I want to know. Also, if you can tell your friends, family, loved ones, hated ones about us, that would be amazing because the best type of exposure is through word of mouth. So usually at the end of these podcasts, we will roll a dice and read a comment off of Goodreads. If we get an even number, we read a positive comment. If we get an odd number, we read a negative comment. And I already have Goodreads open. So do you want to use your app real quick and tell me what number we get?
Yes. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. We got a 4.
Oh, a positive. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we got a positive.
This was written by Ashley, who gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. It reads, "This is one of the best books I've read all year. I can already tell you this review won't do it justice because I'm still a little at loss of how to fully express how much I loved it. It deserves all the stars. If you love Pacific Rim or really any anime with mecha, look no further than Iron Widow. Honestly, I never would have thought a book with mechs as one of the primary aspects of the story could be pulled off so seamlessly. Yet, they just feel like something that only works for the screen, but Xiran Jay Zhao pulled it off. Zetian is by far one of my favorite protagonists I've encountered in a book this year. She's a force to be reckoned with, or on her own, but together with Li Shimin and Yiji, they're unstoppable. Also, on that note, polyamory. I've been screaming that I would love to see more polyamory in books beyond adult romance, and this book delivered. This is an action-packed story about a girl who isn't going to just sit down and follow the status quo. I can't wait to see what comes next. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week. Bye.
You know what I forgot to mention? So,
what?
I don't know. Have you ever seen Pacific Rim?
Yeah, I love it.
You have? Oh my God, that's so funny. Because I've never seen it, but I know what it's about, obviously, because I remember the trailer. And apparently this book is the way, like you know how books are always compared with other stories? Just so that other popular stories, so that you get excited about it. So apparently this story is compared to Pacific Rim and Handmaid's Tale. And I didn't know that. And I didn't find that out until way later. But when I started reading this story, I was like, wow, even though I've never seen Pacific Rim, this is giving Pacific Rim vibes. I just thought that was so funny because I've never seen it. But I was like, whoa, big robots?
Dude, that's so funny because I've never watched Game of Thrones, and I was like, Daenerys vibes. Because I don't know much either, but I was like, I feel like these war crimes are very Daenerys.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I love that. Thank you so much.